Hello and welcome to Melt. I'm Suresh Venkat. Now, it's no secret that the evolution of AI tools and solutions is happening at breakneck speed. You probably already heard about OpenAI's newly launched ChatGPT 4.0 or Omni Model AI chatbot. Now, by happy coincidence this week, we are focusing on the adoption of AI in the marketing function, courtesy the recently concluded MMA Impact conference. Held in Mumbai last month, the conference brought together marketers, technologists, and agencies to demystify the noise around the implementation of AI tools. So let's get started. We first hear from Moneka Khurana, the country head of MMA India, who began the conference with a session urging marketers to embrace the ambiguity and grey areas around AI. Listen in. Hi, Monica. Thank you for joining us at Melt. Your session asks marketers to embrace ambiguity. Could you share the central message you'd like the delegates and marketers here to take home?
Absolutely. So the reason my session spoke about ambiguity is because AI is in its very early stages, and we got to be comfortable with the fact that we don't have all the answers right now, because there are no black and white answers currently which we can take away. There are no benchmarks, there are no ready frameworks, and there are many myths which are moving around. Despite of which, it is the right thing to do. It has the potential to transform marketing at scale, and therefore we got to be at it. We've got to be open to experiment with it extensively, and we got to keep reminding ourselves that whilst we still don't have the answers and we are going to be traveling that path with a lot of ambiguity, we need to be at it because that is the right thing to do. And over a period of time, whilst we'll unpack the answers, we will also ride on a lot of collective wisdom and foresight which will come along through community learning of this kind.
Monica, what are the key challenges that marketers in India face when it comes to adopting and integrating AI solutions?
That's a great question. So basically, marketers need a lot more autonomy to be able to experiment with AI at scale and for a longer period, because there are no immediate answers, there are no immediate results that one can commit, and despite of that, they need the autonomy to be able to experiment with it as much as needed. So eventually, it can build several valuable use cases for the business. So one challenge is autonomy. The second challenge is knowledge, because there is less knowledge currently which exists within the ecosystem, and that needs to be really worked upon with a very powerful learning agenda, so that over a period of time they feel more equipped to take better decisions when it comes to AI resources and AI investments. And the third piece is the mindset to really experiment at scale, which currently marketers are not doing and are either cautious or maybe are not getting enough room to experiment from the leadership. So the more experimentation is encouraged, the more the marketers will be able to prove the power of it.
All right, let's gaze into the crystal ball. Will AI dominate next year's MMA Impact conference in Mumbai as well? Why and why not?
I absolutely think AI will dominate next year's impact, but with a difference. As of now, we're looking at it in a very horizontal format because the learning is still it's in very early stages. Next year, we'll probably be ready to go more vertical, where we'll be able to focus on how AI can be leveraged specifically for, say, personalization, specifically for customer experience, or specifically from measurement and media. So, where we will be able to build a more vertical focus on how you can take your journey of AI to the next level.
Now, that chat with Monica pretty much sets the tone for our next conversation that features Devika Sharma, the Vice President and General Manager of India at InMobi. Devika helps us decode the transformative potential of mobile for brands and also shares how AI is being used at InMobi and its mobile lock screen marketing platform Glance. Here we go. Hi Devika, welcome to Melt. You moderated a session that pretty much forced marketers to go beyond speed and scale with AI. Let's first set the table. What are the misconceptions that marketers have about AI?
Hi, and thank you for having me. I wouldn't quite say that, there are misconceptions, but AI is a very powerful development. I think more than misconceptions, a lot of clients, advertisers, marketers are sitting with, questions related to deployment. I think there's a lot of conversation reflective of a lot of interest, and there is, a lot of willingness to experiment. But I think how this power can actually manifest in businesses, in marketing, is something that is still being defined.
Okay, so can you provide specific examples of AI powered solutions developed by InMobi that have significantly improved targeting and engagement for advertisers?
I can talk about how we leverage AI in the businesses that we've created, and I'd like to focus on Glance. So Glance is InMobi's owned and operated platform. It is basically creating a smart lock screen solution which enables our users to be able to discover the content bang on the lock screen, right? So very simplistically put, if you do want to consume content today, the user journey would pretty much involve picking up your device, then unlocking it, then you either scroll through your phone or you search for a particular app, then you tap on the app, and then again within the app you're either scrolling through content or searching for content. And after all of that, you end up spending an average of 3 seconds or a number like that on on a piece of content that you land on. We're used to doing this on a daily basis, but if you were actually able to discover content on the lock screen of your device, that actually changes the paradigm of content consumption. With AI, we are able to understand user behavior, understand the language or languages that they want to consume content in, understand the type of content that they want to consume, identify peripheral content categories, develop the ability to surface content that is trending and that may be of interest to them, uh, to understand the time of day or day of week and when they are consuming what kind of content. And also very importantly, from an advertising lens, this depth of user behavior enables us to surface ads to a user which are relevant to them, right? So AI is actually the foundation of how we are able to leverage Glance to surface content to consumers. And then whether it's news, whether it's sports and IPL, or the Cricket World Cup led content, or whether it is gaming, or whether it is a new product drop, or the launch of a new film or a show, all of this discovery can happen on the lock screen itself. But we have to be able to surface it to the user who's interested in that content. And I think AI is the bedrock of how we are able to do that successfully.
Now, your session also touched on the role of the human being in this AI fueled world. Was there a consensus?
I think AI is a tool that enables us to do what we do better. It actually is able to drive automation of processes that would actually take a lot of human bandwidth. And so the way I see it is that AI is freeing up this human bandwidth and all of this capital to utilize it for, let's say, the larger questions and the larger tasks. At the end of the day, it is a tool which is processing data that is fed into it, right? That could be creative data, that could be user data, that could be sales data, it could be business process data. But at the end of the day, it is a tool that is able to process the information that is fed into it. It cannot replace a human being for inspiration, for hope, for values, for purpose. And a lot of the marketing that we do, or the good marketing that we do, actually stems from these basic human values, right? Because any consumer or customer does not want to interact purely with communication. It is the purpose, it is the value that the brand that is bringing to the table that a consumer would be drawn to, at least if you want to create meaningful connections. And I think the human role in that is irreplaceable. The human element is absolutely essential in ensuring that we are ethical in how we leverage AI, right? With deep fakes taking over the world, with AI capabilities creating this echo effect. It's very, very important that the human element preserves the bedrock of our existence, for humanity to have an open mind, to hold good basic human values, to be able to experiment, to be creative, to be innovative, to be kind, and hold our integrity in place.
Well, on that note, Devika Sharma, thank you for talking to us at Melt.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
We'll now feature a chat with Rohit Bhasin, the President and Chief Marketing Officer at Kotak Mahindra Bank. Our chat begins with the fundamental marketing philosophy driving one of India's largest banking and financial services companies and ends with thoughts on how AI can be used to drive business growth. So let's get ready to melt with Rohit Bhasin. Hi Rohit, welcome to Melt. Now, before we start talking about AI, let's talk basics. Kotak Mahindra Bank serves crores of customers on a daily basis. What is your core marketing philosophy to address these customers?
What we want to do at Kotak really is to be able to understand the real needs of our customers, whether they're stated or unstated, and really build the right product propositions for our customers. And the role of marketing is really to drive the right insights about our customer needs and help product teams build the right product propositions to really meet those needs. That's the fundamental role that marketing plays at Kotak.
Let's now talk AI. Your session here today was about using AI to drive business growth. So, what's been the impact of AI on the marketing function at Kotak Mahindra Bank? Where have AI tools been deployed? Where have they had the most impact?
So for us, AI is not just in marketing, it is actually, we're trying to embed it across the organization. What underpins AI is a very strong data capability. So what we've really done is that we've hired the best of talent on data to build that capability in the organization. We are creating something called the compute team and the consume team. The compute team is comprising of data scientists whose job is to really look at data from all angles and build the right algorithms which can help a credit decision maker to decide whether to give credit or not to a potential credit card customer. What is the limit to give to him based on the algorithm telling us that is he more likely to return the money back or kind of be a good or not so good customer. Once you've kind of decided that, a product proposition guy would then use the insights that you would generate from data to kind of decide what is the right value prop to offer to this customer. From there, a marketing person uses AI to understand the real insights about the consumer. Is he driven through emotional insights? Is he driven through functional messaging and build the right messaging for the customer? The biggest use of marketing is actually to understand the key segments, to define the serial insights and the needs of each of those segments, and to create the right messaging which is most relevant for that segment. After you've done that, the next use case that we have is how do I use artificial intelligence to actually predict consumer behavior on media so that I can deliver high return on investment on my campaigns. So that's the way we've actually used AI, not just in marketing, but the entire value chain to build the right product propositions and based on the real needs of the segments, and use marketing to build effective campaigns, build on real insights and drive more return on investment.
In what ways has AI enhanced customer personalization and engagement in your marketing activities?
You can actually create more personalized experiences. So for example, I'll give you a couple of examples. We were looking at, we have a couple of very successful co-branded credit cards. One co-branded credit card is with PVR Inox. One co-branded credit card is with Myntra. So we saw a lot of consumers really loving going to cinema in India. And while all the other credit cards were kind of offering a discount at the time of purchase, we said, what happens if you were to build a property with the best and the biggest, screen partner in India, which is PVR Inox, and build a program which can offer to our customers an amazing cinematic experience, watching movies like a star, ranging from great experiences to movie discounts on movies to F&B discount to photo op opportunities. And that through that we built the idea of a co-branded PVR Inox Kotak credit card. And then we saw that it is actually very relevant to consumers who really love to go to movies. And now whenever we have a movie release or movie tie-up, we kind of use that property to build customized messaging around what are the kind of discounts you can kind of get there, uh, what is the experience you can get there, and build a property like that. So that's one example where we used AI to build more personalized propositions. So another example is when we look at, if you want to offer to, there is a segment of consumers who really like to get more deals and offers on the credit card. The early jobbers, who have a salary but it's a limited salary, they want to maximize the effect of the salary, and they constantly look out for the best deals and offers that they can get on the spends that they do. So we have data to look at who are the guys who will potentially order a lot on Swiggy. But there will be someone who will be ordering a lot on, let's say, Zomato. Someone may be more interested in travel, and therefore a Clear Trip or a Make My Trip offer would be more relevant to that person. While this guy may not be interested in, let's say, going to the movies, so a movie offer may not be relevant to that. So once you understand the spend habits and the preferences of consumers from artificial intelligence, you can actually create the right offer proposition to this customer, and that becomes very personalized and more relevant, and therefore a greater chance that he will use the offer and we will get a better conversion and higher spends on our cards. So that's another example that we constantly use to personalize propositions to consumers using the power of AI.
Okay, next question. What challenges has Kotak Mahindra Bank encountered in implementing AI in marketing, and how have these challenges been addressed, for instance?
So look, we are still in a very early stage. We are learning as we go along. I think our biggest challenge was when we identified that to make the best use of AI, you need to have very strong data capabilities. And if you don't have good data on which you can make strong insights, then anything you do to talk about personalization or customization will not work, because if their insight is not good, then you'll not be very relevant for that customer. So what we've done at the first is to really invest in building stronger data capabilities. So that's the first thing that we've done. We brought in talent from outside who's really got these strong capabilities, and we're building teams inside to kind of do that. And the next thing is about getting marketers to be able to ask the right questions to data, so that they can really get the right segmental understanding and the insights around the segment. So that's something that we've invested on. The third thing is we're now looking at working with agencies who complement our skills on capabilities on AI that we don't have. And I think the combination of these three things is what we're really doing to really get more and more people in the company to use the power of AI to build, to be able to predict better as to how consumers will behave, and on basis of that build the right and more relevant product propositions for consumers.
Rohit, as CMO, how do you ensure ethical and responsible use of AI in marketing, especially regarding consumer data and privacy?
So we're a bank, we're a financial group. We live and die by data privacy. Our consumers' data is the most sacrosanct to us, and we don't ever do any action where there is a risk of any data of our consumers going outside of our bank's databases and our bank's bank system. So we kind of live by data privacy. So it is not something which is it's just something that there is no second choice for us. That's the way, those are our core values. That's the way we are defined and governed as a financial institution. So we just, that's the way of living for us.
Do you end up using AI tools to predict and respond to changes in consumer behavior and then therefore tailor your marketing strategies?
Oh, a lot. We use that a lot. So one clear example, you'd have seen over the last few months, there's a increase in the banking industry in the unsecured credit. Credit cards, personal loans, much higher growth in unsecured credit versus secured credit. And therefore, when that kind of happens, you have to be very careful, because what that means is that people are borrowing a lot and spending a lot. You have to make sure that you have to still lend in a manner that it doesn't put a risk on the person's ability to pay back the loan. Otherwise, you'll be faced with a lot of default on your credit. And AI can actually help us a lot by building the right credit algorithms to really predict who are the potential customers who would be potential defaulters. So therefore, how do you really do your credit strategy on basis of AI? So that's the way we've used AI a lot to really, based on the changing trends about how unsecured credit is growing, how do we use our understanding of data and AI to really drive a measured growth on unsecured credit without compromising on our credit quality. So that's one example that we've used.
Okay, now a personal question. How do you personally envision the future evolution of AI in marketing within the banking industry?
As I was saying, that AI is there to help creativity, not to replace creativity. And I am not in that camp which says that AI can make campaigns, AI can make ads, AI can make posters. There will be no marketing, or agencies will cease to exist. Unless you have a very strong brief which is built on a clear insight, a clear need of the consumer, AI can't do much with that. And therefore, I actually see AI being able to complement a marketer in helping him or her understand better about the consumer needs, drive much better consumer understanding and insights about consumer behavior, create the right product propositions, and build better campaigns. So I actually think of AI as a strong ally which can make my uh, effectiveness become more, rather than replacing the marketing team. And that's the way we look at AI in everything that we do.
All right, Rohit, final question for you. Has the definition of consumer trust changed for a banking brand today? And if so, how?
In my view, trust and convenience are the two most important drivers when you choose a bank, because invariably you choose a bank to put your own hard-earned money into the bank. You don't want to go to a bank which could potentially lose your hard-earned money. And therefore, that definition of trust has not changed when you choose a bank. What has kind of got added in the definition of trust is the level of service and convenience. Given the fact that in the past, banking was a very physical activity. If you had to do a banking transaction, you would go to a bank, you would have to deposit money, you would go to the bank, fill a check, put cash, etc. Today, everything happens digitally. 95% of our transactions happen digitally. And therefore, consumers expect banks to work always, on time, in full, just like a shopping app works. You would never see things like Amazon not working, or Uber not working. That's what they use today in their day-to-day transactions. And they expect the bank to be as convenient and as smooth and as easy to work like any other app that they use in the whole shopping ecosystem. So I think, along with trust, which will always be the most important thing for you to choose the bank, convenience and technology are the two additional factors which I would believe have broadened the definition of trust for a consumer. If an app of a bank is always down, just imagine whenever you want to transfer money and you say, I am shut for maintenance, it could happen once, it could happen twice. But if it is always down, you will stop transacting with the bank because it's not available to you when you need it. And therefore, being available to you every time when you need it, powered by technology and convenience, are, I think, the two things which are underpinning the overall definition of trust in this industry.
Rohit Bhasin, thank you very much for talking to us at Melt.
Thanks.
And with that, it's a wrap on Melt today. Keep following Melt on social media. The handle is Ready to Melt, or simply log on to readytomelt.com. If you'd like to follow me, I'm at Suvenk on X. Till next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.